These common Nexus letter mistakes that I see over and over again could be the reason for your denials and frustration. I'm going to show you what to look out for if you're looking to get Nexus letters, if you even need them, and how to fix if you've been denied previously. I'm Jordan Anderson, VA Claims Academy. Make sure you like this video, definitely subscribe for more valuable tips like this, and share it with someone who needs it. Let's get into it. Number one, and this is a big one. Let's imagine for a second that you fell during a combat exercise years ago in training. You never went to the doctor for it for fear of repercussions. This was your one shot at, a successful life. You didn't want to mess it up. Now you have a doctor who knows your scenario, is familiar with this accident, and you finally get a chance to build the rapport for them to actually write you a Nexus letter so you can win your VA claim that you've been getting denied for. After all this time, you've received the Nexus letter. They take 40 minutes out of their day just to write it for you. You submit your claim. You're waiting for months and months just to get denied. Why is that? Well, it's because even though the doctor wrote you a Nexus letter, you can have everything correct, but a couple of words out of sequence at the very end could throw that Nexus letter in the bin. Your VA rater could ignore the entire thing because of incorrect language. What is the correct language? Your Nexus letter needs to include the verbiage, quote, at least as likely as not, end quote, or, quote, more likely than not, end quote. This indicates specifically a greater than 50% chance, equal to or greater than 50% chance of causation between conditions. You cannot say it's most likely. I've seen that over and over again with clients send me their Nexus letters. They ask why they got denied. Well, you see, it says most likely, and even though that makes sense to you and I, it doesn't make sense to the VA. Very important at number one. Number two, and this one is overlooked a lot of times. Let's imagine that you have a right knee condition. This is service connected. Now you have a sleep apnea diagnosis. You're trying to submit for it before they change the rules here for sleep apnea ratings. This is going to be a correlation. It's a secondary claim. So you've gone through the effort. You've gotten the at least as likely as not verbiage in your Nexus letter. Everything looks great. You've gotten it written out. And you still get denied. This absolutely happens. Why is this? It's because sometimes you have to make it difficult to deny it. What I mean by this is if you leverage peer-reviewed scientific studies in your Nexus letter, and this is something that we try to do for clients, at least one definitive study if available, or two correlative peer-reviewed studies. We leverage our extensive database to do that. So you have this doctor that you've built rapport with, but they're simply not going to go out of their way to research these things for you or to draw the connection between your actual current situation and this peer-reviewed research. When you do all of this and it all comes together, you have a doctor, you have the opinion from them, they at least list out your history for your treatment, they have the verbiage at least as likely as not, and then you also include compelling peer-reviewed medical evidence and research. At that point, it is more difficult to deny you. So make sure you leverage scientific studies using the databases to your advantage. Hey y'all, the biggest problem I see and deal with on a daily basis is lack of education in the VA ratings process. If this is you, or if you feel like you could do better, click the first link in the description below to get a preview of the best VA education in the industry. I'll see you there. Number three, and by the way, make sure you stay tuned to the bonus tip after this because that's going to be imperative. Let's say you have depression or anxiety because of your service, and years later you finally decide to go to the doctor about it, which by the way, if this is you, you need to go ahead and get seen, get treated at the doctor. It's very important. Let's say this is the case. You've seen your friends get hurt, or it's just the pressure and the stress of in service, or they were bullying, they were hazing you, things like this happen. You're finally at the therapist. This therapist does everything that we just mentioned. Writes you an awesome ironclad Nexus letter. They include more likely than not, at least as likely as not. They even include scientific studies, but you still get denied. This can happen because this was not a board certified psychiatrist. And this is the point here. You need to have a specialist within their area of expertise. That means within their scope of practice, be the ones to sign this Nexus letter. So it could simply be a case of right letter, wrong doctor. Make sure you have the correct doctor giving the opinion within their area of expertise. Here's the bonus tip, and guys, this is going to save you a lot of money. You deserve it for waiting this long. This final tip is to make sure that your doctor that you get to sign this Nexus letter is familiar with your treatment history, or at the very least, is treating people within the state that you live in. Here's why. The VA is completely aware of veterans who go online and just find any doctor to write them a Nexus letter. At a certain point, lately the VA is looking at people with a raised eyebrow. If they see the same doctors over and over and over again who are not even residing in your state, they are questioning, you know what, how familiar really is this doctor with the veteran's treatment? The compelling nature and the power of that Nexus letter goes down as a result. So be wary of these Nexus letter companies that you go to, and make sure that, hey, if there's an influencer talking, a VA disability, let's say YouTuber, things like that, and they have a link in the description for a doctor, and this is the same doctor they're recommending to everybody, that should automatically be a flag. Number one, why are they recommending this doctor to you? Are they just really good friends or something? So figure out what's going on there. Number two, is this going to be compelling if the VA sees the same doctor over and over and over again? So that's my tip to you. Make sure, that's why I highly encourage getting your own private doctors to write this for you. They're intimately familiar with your treatment, and they also are not getting seen by the VA over and over again. So just to recap here, number one, make sure you have the correct language, at least as likely as not. Number two is include studies. I'm talking about even within the writing itself and the correlation between your specific case and the peer-reviewed scientific literature. Number three, don't go in there having all this correct and having the wrong doctor sign it. If it's a mental condition, make sure it's a board-certified psychiatrist. If it's a back, make sure it's someone specializing in the back, so on and so forth. Finally, the bonus tip, extremely important, make sure the doctor is at least familiar with your full treatment records. So I'm talking about have them be within your state. Don't just go to some random online doctor in some other state who's going to glance at your records and then give an opinion, because it could not be as compelling as what you think that you're paying for. I hope you liked this video. I hope it provided you some value. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, share it with someone who needs it. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.